Hey guys and girls, welcome back to some Nier, where we left off. I had just finished a boatload of side missions. We have to go talk to Popola at the moment. We're gonna go do that. We'll see what we have to tell her about everything that's happening, and we'll kind of go from there.
What's up, Popola?
Oh, hi. I just got a strange letter in the mail.
From who? Dearest Popola, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing in hopes of bringing to your attention a certain dream issue of concern regarding recent events in Dream, the village. I was hoping I might be able to get your advice, Dream, on the matter. Recently, there have been dream reports, dream of a certain dream, of dream, evil dream, empty dream, cursed dream, evil dream. Dream words, dream, and dream. Someone dream.
That is certainly one bizarre piece of writing.
Seems normal to me.
Who's it from?
The mayor of a small village in the Forest of Myth. It's a wooded area up north.
The Forest of Myth?
They're usually a bright and cheerful group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them. I have a bad feeling about this.
I'll check it out.
You will? But...
Don't worry about it. I've got business there anyway.
Oh, well, alright. Thank you.
Alright. Well, that lines up pretty perfectly. We had those dreams of the Forest of Myth, so maybe that's why they kept saying dream. I wish I could meet the Kaine lady Lucas told me about. I bet she's really nice and always says nice things. Oh, I wonder if that's what my mom was like. Oh, I hope your mom wasn't like that. So I'm pretty sure I did all the side quests I can do for now. At least I think so. So we're just basically gonna beeline it to the Forest of Myth and kind of go from there. My dude! You're dying. Where'd you go? I think it's that middle one. You're dying. How dare you? Boy who's always... Oh. I read that. Alright, let's go see what's wrong with these people. 'Cause apparently, they like dreams a lot. I guess. They're really big fans of the YouTuber Dream.
Beware.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Vice's voice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
Oh.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
I'm Lucas, this is Vice. We heard something happen to this village. The mayor stared at Lucas and Vice.
You can speak to me. I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream had spread across the Forest of Myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor has determined the Death Dream will spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Vice stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here. Are you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Is that why it's being read like a storybook? It's like he said, are you saying we have...
Well, yes. I think you have.
Said the mayor, I think you have.
In other words, we've
Said
caught the
Lucas.
death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm Lucas's suspicion, Vice exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's
My
words.
remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace and quickly changed the subject to who Lucas had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A
Said the
certain
mayor.
conversation, a specific word, something.
Lucas and Vice racked their brain, but could find no easy solution. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Vice does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Vice chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Vice looked skyward as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Lucas like a contagion. Wait, said Lucas suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, the villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Vice aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words? What was it? It was about dreaming or something that dreams or... Oh, what the hell was it? A sheep! Cried Vice, suddenly blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Lucas's face suddenly lit up. I remember! He said those who dream... That's what he said. I'm sure of it. Those who dream. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval. That sounds right, he said as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that, but I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the death dream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along, but I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Vice immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams, he said, but perhaps we should bend your efforts into escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized that I was locked inside my own dream. I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said, to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Lucas nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second. I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, said Lucas, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence, cried Vice. The grimoire looked from Lucas to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Vice's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here. Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived. The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said. You're right. I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Vice. And dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called at the departing forms of Lucas and Vice. We're all counting on you. As Lucas slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought, but where? Lucas's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankles. More than once, he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Vice was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of the time urging Lucas to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Vice muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Lucas snapped, "Okay, Vice, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk." Lucas leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big, he muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared at the volume that rattled his teeth. Lucas slapped his hand over his ears and screamed to be heard. "Vice, what's going on?" Lucas could see Vice's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the force howled, and then just as Lucas's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the wood. Zree, 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 zree. Shuck, 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 shuck. Chick, 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 chick. Woo, woo, ma, woo, woo, ma. Shick, 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 shick. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, as the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Lucas began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. One with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages, is this a riddle? Give me a second here, guys. guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? Both of those sound actually right? 1 with it is lacking because you can't seesaw by yourself, can you? 2 with it is ideal. 2 people on both sides. 3 with it is dangerous. Sure. Inwardly furious that Vice left the test to him, Lucas sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insects stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before Lucas like a rippling wave opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Vice with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Lucas moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Lucas after a bit. Vice spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path led. As Vice finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring, smiling. Lucas picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Vice. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I entered through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Absurdly easy, barked Vice. Now answer it. Lucas grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right, after all. This one is pretty easy. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight, right? It enters through the window, but it breaks no glass. A bird would break glass. A letter can't break glass either, but a letter doesn't enter through a window. Sunlight. A plum of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plum, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Vice softly, I've never seen such a sight. Perhaps I've misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey, look, cried Lucas, awaking Vice from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Vice saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it? Vice, who would build a house all the way out here? Lucas walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Lucas walked over and pounded on the door after a minute of solid banging. Began Lucas. But before he could get any farther, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? Lucas tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. If you wish to engage this man in conversation, said Vice, it seems we must answer his riddle. I suppose. I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon. 4 legs in the morning. But 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. A demon? An angel? I don't understand any of these, though, to be honest. Like, it makes no sense, honestly. Oh, wait. I have 4 legs in the morning. We crawl on 4 legs, right? As a baby? I think it's man. Adults walk on 2 legs, and when you're old, people use walkers and stuff. That actually makes sense. A man. The mist dissolves from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried Lucas. The small man slowly shook his head. I'm not the mayor, you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. What do you mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the death dream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heels and slammed the door behind him as Lucas watched mist seep up from the ground and envelop the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Lucas and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against the tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy, he cried. You made it. You actually made it. His left hand grasped Lucas's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. God, by the heavens, stop shaking me, fool. We have not even told you if we were successful. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Lucas withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the death dream seal, he said. At least I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as Lucas filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. When the tale was done, the 3 of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Lucas cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. Lucas and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? Continued Vice. It is words that control the death dream, words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor, the first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slight, more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Lucas shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh, wow, said the mayor in an awed voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The death dream was spreading throughout our village, and I wanted to... Well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs, trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Lucas and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor, as a wry smile crossed his lip. You shall relearn in short order, I'm sure, said Vice. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the death dream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head. This is the holy tree, he explained. When the prayers was finished, it's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstitions will only make our mission harder, muttered Vice. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Lucas and Vice could not contain their surprise. Lucas and Vice could not contain their surprise. It seemed a goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Vice, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Lucas mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before. Lucas tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Lucas gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inward, his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. And what exactly is going on here? That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one for me.
Oh, thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know.
Obtain Dark Execution Magic. We got a sealed verse. Summon magical spikes from the ground and impale enemies. Dope. Okay.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, it's almost as if someone was
Don't overthink it,
Interesting.
So how was the village?
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
Neat.
That was kind of freaky.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
Sounds good. Popala. You know, some weird stuff, alright? Everything was visual novel.
Death dream certainly is a strange illness.
It was insane.
Yeah, it was something all right.
It was ridiculous.
Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again.
You guys did well. You've been making a lot of long trips lately. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard?
I'm okay. I can't just sit around all day while Yona's sick, after all.
If you say so.
So, anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing I could use a hand with. Have you heard about our The work probably won't happen for a while, but once it's done, unfortunately, however, if you're willing to help out,
No problem.
Great. So, the man I originally asked to help on this project, I'm starting to get a little worried. So, I'll mark the location. He always carries a red bag.
Got it.
Seafront. Okay. Let's go talk to Devola though first, because I want to see if there's any more side quests I can take. I'm really, really curious. Because I'm trying to power through as many side quests as I can as we progress through this playthrough.
A canal, is it? Fascinating. If we had a ferry, we could put these days of endlessly running about behind us.
Don't you just float everywhere anyway?
Do you think I am borne aloft by the winds, lad? It takes stamina to maintain this height.
Oh, really?
You could at least try to hide the utter dismay, you know.
No side missions? Yeah.
Doesn't.
Nothing. Okay. Alright, we're heading to Seafront. I want to do more side quests. We're at 49% currently. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to Seafront, and then I'm going to end this part off there. Oh, this is who I have to talk to. Okay. I don't want to do that yet, though. So leave a like, guys. Subscribe, share with a friend. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. On the next part, we will talk to the Red Bag Man and kind of see where we have to go from there.